true. Yes, we are here once again. It is Friday evening, and we are all here. We are back once again, and today we have YEHUDI.
Hello.
YEHUDI Mercado. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing especially great now that you're here. Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad Scoot stepped aside for 1 week to let me jump in.
Scoot is my lucky charm where I have him at the beginning of each Marvel show and then at the end of each Marvel show to do a wrap-up and stuff like that. So he just kind of fell ass backwards into that. So as always, we have with us Wayne, our commentator corraler. Hi, Wayne. How are you?
Pretty good. Looking forward to this talk.
Is it snowing up there in Canada?
Next week. Next week we should be getting a blizzard.
Nice.
What? Really? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Where in Canada are you?
I'm in Ottawa.
Okay.
Ottawa, Ontario.
Ottawa,
capital of the country. Parliament Hills.
Yeah.
I've been to Toronto. How about that?
Okay, 4.5 hours from Toronto.
Okay.
There you go. We have triangulated our space because I'm in New York, you're in LA, and Wayne's up there in Canada. So we're
the whole country,
triangulated.
Yeah, North America. We got it covered.
We're like in an Area 52 type of situation.
Welcome to the triangle.
Thank you. Welcome everybody to the show. Welcome everybody out there watching. This is episode 21. I don't stick to it weekly, but we are here. And we are in episode 21. And tonight we're going to be talking about, if you didn't see the show card, we're going to be talking about the Loki, and we're going to be talking about Black Widow, and we will be spoiling all of those things. So we're going to be talking about
straight for the spoiler. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that stuff.
Post credits tags. We're gonna spoil.
Yeah, everything. We're gonna talk about every single credit we saw on that Black Widow movie because they were like about 7 minutes long. So we're gonna talk about every single one of them. And as always, our conversation may veer off of those topics, but that's okay because it's my show and it's your show. So you should ask questions if you're out there, because that's why Wayne is here, because he will garner all of your comments and questions from everywhere that we have them. So we have them on Facebook, we have them on YouTube, a couple of different pages on Facebook. So if you're on any of those things, please feel free to type in a comment. Wayne will see them, maybe, hopefully, and then he will read them out and we will discuss and talk about them. If it's anything about my diet or my hairstyle, I refuse to answer either of those. But other than that, everything is on the table. We can talk about everything and anything. So there. How do you like them apples?
Share everything.
Everything.
I just shared the link.
There you go. So you can, and we're out there, and people are watching and stuff like that. So, YEHUDI, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into things.
Yeah, my name is YEHUDI Mercado. I live in Burbank, sunny Burbank, California. I am a writer, artist, director, graphic novelist.
You do everything.
I do everything. Yeah.
You spin music, don't you?
No, I don't. Oh. My book is about a DJ. Yeah, Saifu. Yeah. Oh. I do not possess that skill.
So then are you? So Saifu, you don't spin DJ music.
I don't.
You're doing a book for DC. What's that book?
It's called Shazam Thundercrack.
So you're not Shazam either. That's what you're telling me.
Well, I can't spoil that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But then you have another book. Tell me, are you Chunky?
I am Chunky. That's yeah. Yeah, I got my book Chunky that's just came out through Harper Alley. Yeah.
Nice.
I know, yeah. It's been my first, everything else I've done before that, like, Saifu, Fun World, and like Rocket Salvage has all been like indie comics, Oni Press, Lion Forge. Mm-hmm. But Chunky is my first, like with HarperCollins, like a larger publisher.
Nice.
And it's been great. Yeah, it's been it's so Chunky is, it's a graphic novel memoir about my life as a fat kid growing up in Houston, Texas, and dealing with health issues. I have one lung, so like that plays a part of the story. And so like my parents want me to lose weight. My doctor and my parents want me to lose weight. So then they make me try out for all these sports. And of course I'm terrible at sports, like, no coordination at all. I'm always, injuring myself. And so to cope with that, I invent this imaginary mascot named Chunky. And so he's there rooting me on, cheering me on. And yeah, it's in that Raina Telgemeier sort of middle grade space.
Very cool. Didn't you? Two things with that. Didn't you recently do something with Raina, like a reveal or a like a showcase of your book or something like that?
Yeah. She hosted my launch event for
launch event. Mm-hmm.
And it was through the Vromans bookstore in Pasadena, like one of the oldest independent bookstores in America, I think.
Nice.
But it was awesome. Yeah. She was very sweet to do that.
Yeah, Raina's just like super awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like so freaking talented.
Yeah.
Hate her.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard of Raina, what have you been living under a rock?
Right.
How have you not
she's
heard
the number
about
one
Raina?
selling comic book writer and artist like of all time.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like the New York Times had to like put her in a separate category, right? Like,
yeah, I think so.
Because like DC and Marvel, were getting mad that she was like taking the top spot.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna have to reach out to her at some point for this show too. But today's about you. The other piece of news is you have something happening on Sunday with regarding Chunky. Do you not? In terms of some sort of newspaper thing
that's
happening?
Right. I do. Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird. Yeah. So in the New York Times book review, they're doing a review of Chunky, and it was a very glowing review. So
That's awesome.
So everybody go get the physical copy. But they released it online, the review. But I can't wait to like get that physically in my hand. Like New York Times, it's like crazy.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, sir. I love all of that for you.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
truly heartfelt. We've known each other for a few years. And I'm like, I got to reach out to Yehudi and see if he'll come on and draw with me. So I'm so happy that you did. And you're willing to talk spoilers about all this other stuff that we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm very opinionated with these Marvel shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to draw, or I'm going to draw. Are you going to draw as well?
I'm going to draw. Yeah.
I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw, and you're going to draw. Let's see. What do you got? You got a note for us. What does your note say? Let's see.
I got my Instagram.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There it is. Super Mercado Comics on Instagram. So go check it out.
On the iPad.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about stuff. So what are you gonna draw tonight? Just anything, or
I want to draw the Loki Gator.
The Loki Gator. Nice. Ah, cool.
I feel like
I love the Loki Gator.
Yeah, right? Like he's the best. Like
very, very cool.
Every reaction shot they cut to him, it worked every time, right? Like it was funny every time. Like
I love it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna draw Loki Gator. I'm gonna try my hand at Black Widow tonight in a different style than I usually do. So here's my pen drawing, my preliminary drawing. So I already light boxed it, and we're gonna go on this. So we'll see what happens. But talk about Loki. What are you thinking so far? Because Wade and I have talked about this over the past couple of weeks. We've been here every week. Where have you been, Yehudi?
I've been waiting. I've been waiting at the door, waiting for you to invite me in.
So you're here. So tell us, how do you feel? How do you feel about Loki so far?
So with the first episode. Oh wait, do you hear an echo? Or no?
No, I don't think so. Oh, did I? Oh, you got to reshare your camera. Yeah, that's all right.
Technical difficulties.
It's all right. We're not. Trust me, we are not as professional.
Difficulties.
Oh, yeah.
D. Brad has 2 comments for Yehudi.
Oh, yeah.
He says it's nice to meet you, and that he's going to check out Chunky because he enjoys biographical graphic novels.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And I'm not saying this because Yehudi is my friend, but he is a super awesome cartoonist. I love your stuff. I really do. So you should check it out.
Yes, please do. So okay, there we go. I don't hear
We
an
good?
echo anymore.
Yeah, we're back on. Yeah.
So yeah, Loki, first episode, loved it. Like out the gate, the design of Loki, the show, the production design is like beautiful. Like it's a masterclass in like set design. And yeah, the writing was snappy and great. And like, that first episode is tough, right? You have to establish a lot. Like you got to establish like, okay, where this particular Loki is, at the start of the show, because it's not the Loki we know from Infinity War, right?
Right.
So you have to establish like where he is, and then you have to establish this whole new world and the rules of that world. So I thought they did like a masterful job of like really setting that up quickly and like keeping it engaging. And I thought the key to that was Owen Wilson. I almost said Luke Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, Owen Wilson.
You haven't been on the show, so do you want to hear my impression of Owen Wilson? Okay, ready? Wow. That's it. That's all I do.
Perfect. Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Owen Wilson is the key to sort of like making it not feel too expositional and like not too dry. Like he's got that sort of like that understated.
He's like a perfect foil to Loki.
Yeah. Because like Loki is bouncing off the walls. He's agitated. He wants to rule everything. But Owen Wilson is just like calm and steady and like it's almost like aggravates Loki more. And like so it was perfect. So yeah, I've been loving the series. The only like negative I would say of the series is I feel like the Sylvie character, like especially the episode without Owen Wilson, I felt like that one was the only like, okay. Like,
really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I feel like she's not quite popping for me. Like I feel like if she's going to be a female Loki, and maybe this is like going to be the twist that she's not an actual Loki, and then it would make sense. But I feel like they didn't really mind the comedy of like a female Loki as much as they could have.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
she's a great actress.
I didn't think they were going in that direction. I think like they're really trying to set you up for having her be possibly Loki going forward, which would be interesting. But again, Wayne's been here every week, and he knows every theory I throw out there is just total crap and never comes true. So I don't even know what.
That would be good. Like, well, do you think
see her as similar to Richard E. Grant's type of Loki, very serious?
Yeah, although he was pretty funny, like Richard E. Grant. Yeah, if we jump to the latest episode, which I thought the latest episode was like one of the best episodes of TV ever, like of all TV, like to set it in this sort of like land of the lost environment, and like just basically it's like it's Marvel Easter egg like land,
right?
Like
what are you talking about? The Thanos copter?
Yeah, Thanos copter, and then like
I kind of freaked out a little when I saw that. I'm like, oh, they did not.
Yeah. And then there was the frog, right? Like
the Thunder Frog.
Yeah, the Thunder Frog.
Oh, I missed this. Where was this?
Okay, pan through the dirt.
Where you see Mjolnir in the rocks, beneath it, you can see a frog trying to climb up to it.
Well, he's in a jar. He's like trapped in the jar.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was like actual Thor. I didn't see it very clearly.
Wow. Yeah.
I got to go back and watch it now.
You got to go back and watch, yeah. But like Richard E. Grant, like the delight he was having. See, that's the energy I wanted out of a female Loki. Like he's not over the top evil. He's just like he's got that Loki energy that you just like know and love. Like that's why I think the twist is going to be that she's not really Loki. But
like his face, the way with the costume, it was just like watching Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
come to life.
Well, and then that's the crazy thing with these the Disney Plus Marvel shows is, they in the Scarlet Witch in the Halloween episode they have her in the classic costume, and it's like those are the costumes we want. Like enough with the drab leather. Like we want color. Like I felt like that.
Do we though? Because I'm sort of liking the costumes. I mean, they really do put me in a okay, this can really happen world type thing.
I know that they're going for that, but I feel like now they can open it up a little more. Like I feel like we don't have to go so realistic with it anymore.
I don't know. I'm kind of digging that because it really it makes a clear delineation between the comics and the films for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of dig that, but I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. I just miss the bold colors. Like it was nice to see Vision in his like Vision outfit, you know.
Even though he was wearing Keds.
Yeah, especially
Converse.
I love that. Yeah. So yeah, Loki. Yeah, that was, and then to set up the Richard E. Grant like Loki classic, in one episode, and then have him have this amazing character arc, and then him to do something like noble and then die, and then have you feel something like that's amazing. Like to accomplish that all in one episode, like that's
right.
Yeah, but that was his glorious purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I've watched it twice already and it gave me chills like every time, like seeing him like raise Asgard, like in Vision, like it just was beautiful.
I do love that line. And again, for anybody watching, because we have people that come in and watch this show, and we have like about 10, 15 people, and then the minute we start talking spoilers, it like goes down to like 3. So if you're watching, we are going to spoil.
Yeah.
But when our Loki, the one that we're following through this whole series, says, maybe we're stronger than we thought. That kind of got me in the feels. That was like,
yeah. Well, and then like the line when he says she is different because she's not trying to rule, she's trying to take down the TVA. Like, I feel like that may be a clue that she's maybe not really a Loki, but that was
or a different Loki. Yeah. I could see.
But I do love that like all the male Lokis were basically all the same. Like they were all assholes, like stabbing each other in the back. Like that fight, that melee between all of them, that was great. Like that was beautiful.
Oh, and the candidate Loki.
Yeah.
That was
Loki.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, when he gets his hand bit off by the Loki Gator. Yeah. And yeah, did we already say this about the Loki Gator's the best? Like,
well,
he reminded me. I had a corgi dog years ago, and he just reminds me of my old dog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
they get a lot of emoting out of that alligator.
Yeah,
he doesn't say much, but I love when he jumped
you get
up.
what he's thinking, right? Like,
yeah,
and he has some great lines.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah.
He did have lines because they were equated through the other Loki. Yeah.
Child Loki. What do they call him? Young Loki.
Kid Loki.
Kid Loki. That's right. So what was Kid Loki's little like drone remote control thing? Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed it, but I didn't notice the drone.
Or I mean, it looked like the equivalent of like a drone controller, but you didn't see what he was like. Maybe it was just to track the what's his name, the sky smoke dragon.
Oh,
what is it? Argolith, or what is his name?
The creature from Lost. Yeah.
John Locke is the smoke monster
from the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I did. I want to attribute it to someone because I saw it online, and I forget who it was, but I saw someone say, "Can Marvel just stop with these smoke monsters?" Coming out of nowhere. Or I don't know if they directed it at Marvel or just like Hollywood in general.
Yeah.
Can't they come up with any creatures other than smoke?
Yeah, it's tough because like that's the thing with these Marvel movies that people forget. It's like they're for all ages, right? Like they're you should be able to be 5 years old, 6 years old, and still watch them. So like you can't have a creature that you're like really like killing and like stabbing and like even the giant like flying whale things that in the first Avengers, like they put armor on them so they were like kind of robotic feeling,
Right.
So,
the smoke creature is called Eliath.
Eliath. Yeah.
Ooh,
There we go.
he has a name.
Yeah. But and then there's always the trope in these Marvel movies of the the blue beam in sky.
Mhm.
You know, like that's the thing you have to stop or start, or you know, like
Right.
that's the third act ticking clock of like, there's a blue beam in the sky, we got to stop it or start it, or you know, somehow disrupt it.
Yeah, how many episodes are left in this?
There's only one more of Loki.
One more,
so
right?
That's my other criticism, is I feel like we could have had like 4 or 5 fun time crimes of the week before we found out the TVA was like evil, right? Like
Mhm.
I feel like we missed out on like a fun buddy cop, you know, procedural with Loki and Owen Wilson. Mobius, yeah. Before like then like completely like, you know, flipping the switch, right?
But I could see why they don't do that. Obviously, you know, budget and stuff like that, and that, you know, they'd have to pay these guys mega bucks to do more episodes.
Yeah.
But then that's where you can go into, you know, comics or novels or something else and start telling these side stories.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, where you can do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's just me anyway.
Well, like they did with Spider-Man in the X-Men, the Hidden Years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And actually, you say that, and so my Shazam book, Shazam Thundercrack, it all takes place during the first movie. So it's all like if you.
Oh really?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, how familiar are you with the movie? Like,
loved it.
Yeah.
Me and Zachary were like this.
That's right.
Yeah.
So like during the montage when they're training and like he's taking notes and like testing the powers, like my whole book takes place in that sequence.
Oh,
and
very
like,
cool.
And it ends with them like playing video games together, like that shot of them playing video games. So like my entire book takes place during that time.
Oh, awesome. So now let me ask you a question, because I've dealt with continuity driven stuff. Like, you know, we worked on the Young Justice books, you know, like the cartoon books, you know, so we did the first 6 issues of that, and everything took place between episodes of the show. So we were very continuity driven when we did that. How continuity driven were you with this?
Very. Yeah. So I couldn't show him flying yet because he hadn't learned to fly. The only other character that knows about him is Darla, the younger sister, and he hasn't met Savine yet. So like I had to sort of create a new big bad for just that little sequence.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And now, were you given a lot of direction, or you had some leeway with what you did?
No, I had a lot of leeway. Like, I mean, I gave him like sort of 3 pitches, like that could like all basically like, you know, have a little mini arc of like Billy like learning something, but not going full like, okay, I need my family. Like, so just sort of like a mini lesson that he learns. So I tried to like, I really wanted the book to feel like satisfying in that regards, like that the character had like a growth, like how he learned something, you know.
Right.
So you know, I gave him 3 pitches, and then the one they really liked was, so it's Billy, you know, because they keep ditching school to go like do the training, you know.
Right.
So to avoid detention, he has to go out for the football team, and so he has to join the football team in order to avoid detention. And then there, the opposing football team is the Atom Men, you know, from the classic. Yeah. So I made them like these football players that are all juiced up, and they sort of become these sort of automatons. And like, so the opposing football team are the Atom Men, basically.
Oh, very cool.
Coach. Yeah. And so like Billy will learn, like, you know, because he starts the book like, oh, I don't need a team. I'm the best player here. I don't need these other chumps on my team. And then he learns like, okay, I need to be part of a team. So he has like a nice little arc there.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, they were pretty, like the only thing they were like, okay, make sure, you know, the foster parents don't know about his powers yet. And, you know, there was like just stuff like that, like what characters knew. But, you know, and they didn't let me read the sequel script. So, but
they didn't?
No.
Yeah.
So, but that was okay because all of my stuff took place
within the first one. Yeah.
all during the first movie. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so back to Loki though.
Yeah.
All right. So predictions on who is in the. Is that Dormammu Castle or? Yeah, because it looks like Dormammu background, right?
No, doesn't look like the Dark Dimension.
Okay.
Because the Dark Dimension is really psychedelic.
Yeah.
With the round, sort of like you'll see like little round. It's like spores.
Right.
And then spikes pushing out of it. That's more the Dark Dimension with Dormammu.
Okay. So who do you think is in that castle? I mean, like Kang is like everyone's saying online Kang.
Right.
But I feel like that
Watch,
would be
it'll be Mephisto. We'll finally get Mephisto.
Yeah, I feel like Kang would be very unsatisfying because it wasn't set up at all, at the beginning of the show.
Right.
That's why I feel like it's got to be someone we met in the first episode that is like disguised. So like the actor Eugene Cordero, he was the I forget what his character's name was, but he was just like the clerk who was like,
Casey.
I don't know what a fish is. Yeah,
Casey. He should have his own show. I love him.
Yeah, I feel like they could like say like, oh, that's Kang in disguise, and then he like takes off his face, and then it's the guy who's supposed to play Kang. I don't know. Like, I feel like you need something like that if it's going to be Kang. Or my wish is it's Miss Minutes is the big bad. Like somehow.
There you go.
The big bad. But I do like the idea.
That'd be interesting. Miss Minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get to see Tara Strong.
Yeah. And she finally gets her on-screen.
Ooh, let's take a look at your gator so far.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
He's got that surly attitude.
I love him. What's he saying in that? If you had to translate his grunt, what would he be saying?
He's saying, "I want to eat another hand."
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Nice.
That hand meat was delicious.
So did you get the impression when he took the hand that you were thinking Peter Pan all of a sudden?
Oh, I didn't
put
that together. Holy shit. And clocks too.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. Maybe this whole thing is like, the boy who would never grow up is Loki, who finally has to grow up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at that. I think we just
that's some comments. Adam Illas Walenta says yo, and he has to, or she has to bounce when we start talking about Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And D. Brad wants to confirm. I said you're drawing on an iPad, Yehudi?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, iPad in Procreate.
Yeah. We were discussing before the show, Yehudi and I, how much I have displeasure with Procreate.
I know. I'm sad to hear that.
Yeah. I'm using it because I'm working on something, but it's not for me.
Yeah. So like I'll go through my process of my book. So like I thumbnail and lay everything out in Adobe Flash, which is an animation program, which is not built for that, but I like it anyway. Like I'm fast in it since I do animation also. Like I feel like I'm fast and thumbnailing, and I like to see my whole book like on a timeline.
Right.
And then from there, I export like a PNG sequence, and then I bring those into the iPad, and then ink over those. And then I export PSD files and then color in Photoshop.
Wow. That's crazy.
I know, it's like a crazy method, but somehow I made it work. Yeah, I wish the iPad was better at like file handling, like mass file handling, because you're working on these 200-page books. That's like all these pages, all these files.
Yep.
I can't share them and then bring them back on the iPad.
Right.
Very smoothly.
Yep.
It seems like someone needs to build that sort of like cloud server for like Procreate.
Ooh, maybe we should do that.
There we go.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So do you want to know my process? Is I thumbnail everything. I write my entire scripts in thumbnails. So some artists hate me because I give them scripts and thumbnails.
You do?
I do. Yeah, it's just easier for me. in pacing. I didn't used to, but now lately a lot. That's what I've been doing. And then I draw everything out in ballpoint pen on paper, and then take photographs and bring it into Procreate or Medibang and ink it. Yeah, and then I ink it that way because I'm very comfortable with ballpoint pen.
So
and then,
your photos are really just sort of like as reference. Like you don't scan them in to be like perfect.
No, I photograph them on the iPad and then bring them into Medibang or Procreate, and then I size them to the panel, and then I ink them. And then for coloring, I usually hire a colorist.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so persnickety about color. So like I'll do like a model sheet of like a guide for all like the character colors, like what the glasses are and like what the skin tone is and like what the shirt color is. And I'll break that down like chapter 1, his shirt is this color. And, then I'll hire Flatter. It's like a Flatter Plus. So they'll go through the whole book and do all the characters to my specifications. Right. And then I go through and do all the sweetening, all the shadows and highlights and the gradients and the glows. Yeah.
Now you do a lot of obviously your own writing, your own drawing. Do you write for others, or do you draw other people's scripts at all, or not really? If you can help it or want to.
Rocket Salvage, I wrote, and then an artist named Bachan drew, and that was
actually I knew that. I have Rocket Salvage. That's right.
Yeah. And that one, like, because I had just done Pantalones, Texas for Archaea, and then Rocket Salvage.
I remember that book too.
Yeah. Rocket Salvage was the next one they wanted to do, but they wanted to make sure it didn't seem too young. So they wanted another artist that like had that more like sort of traditional comic book style.
Right.
So I was a little bummed when they, at first, because it was like, I want to draw like race cars and robots and like aliens. Like that's the fun stuff. But then I saw how he drew and like how he drew my characters. And I was like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome. Like Bachan is amazing because he can still do like that very detailed, like super detailed, like comic book illustration, but it still looks alive and still like looks a little cartoony.
Right.
Like, yeah. So like check out Rocket Salvage, everybody out there.
All this stuff is available somewhere.
Yeah. If you go to supermercado.pizza, there's a link to my store and you can buy all this stuff.
Yeah, it's on the crawl down at the bottom. Write it down or take a screenshot.
That's
right.
Here,
take a screenshot real quick. It's coming up. Here it comes.
Right now.
See, I did that face for the screenshot. So.
And then I don't know if I can tell. I can't announce what I'm working on next. That I'm writing.
You can if you want to. You know, there's nobody listening. So, but no, you'll get in trouble. Don't do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that one I will write. And we haven't picked the artist yet, but yeah.
Now the Shazam book, you're doing the artwork for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's been fun. Like, but I always write myself into these corners of like these teams, like football teams. Like, oh man, it's like like drawing stadiums and teams. I'm like, what did I do to myself?
Do you ever fall into that dilemma where, as a writer, you're like, this is awesome, this is great, this is what I'm doing, and then when you're the artist on that book, you come back to it and you're like, who the hell wrote this? Why did you write this? Why?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get mad at yourself for writing the book. You're like, damn it.
And that's kind of what. So I write my scripts like as a screenplay first, and then
do you write everything out, like type it all out and everything?
Yeah.
You do.
And then when I do the
crazy.
layout, that's when I copy and paste the dialogue from Final Draft, and then I do like almost like another pass at it because it's like I'll write a joke and it's like, oh, that's gonna, that's 20 panels in one page. That's gonna be way too much. Let me revise the joke as I'm laying it out. Yeah.
See, I don't write scripts if I can help it, because I have a book that's in contract right now, that will hopefully be announced soon. But when I spoke to the publisher and I spoke to the editor, I'm like, well, listen, this is the way I write, and is it okay? If not, you're going to get the book much later. And they're like, oh, well, that's fine. I'm like, good. But literally what I do when I write is I write everything down here. It's crazy. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Because this is not a book that I have working, but I will literally do this. I will. Here we go. So this is the way I write my scripts.
Holy shit.
So this is like 4 pages of a script right here.
It's like a serial killer. Yeah.
Right. So I'll write it this way, and then I'll do it in iPad, and I'll actually draw a little bit better, so that if there's an emotion or something like that, I will redraw that digitally, and then plop in the dialogue, and that gives me the chance to self-edit. So like when I go from that version to the new version, it's like it's all there, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it's almost like you need those extra steps so that you can self-edit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember Spielberg was talking about when he was working on a movie, even though he shot on video or something like that, or people edit basically the video proxies of film, that's how people edit now, but he actually likes to edit the physical film.
Right.
And he says he does that because it gives him time to think about it, before sort of committing.
Yeah.
Whereas, if it's on video and it's just easy to just sort of throw it out there, you're not really giving it the brain power that maybe you need to sort of mull something over. Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like I need that time, that pass, because usually I'll do the serial killer thumbnails, because that's now what I'm going to call them after you called them that. I'll do the serial killer thumbnails, and that's usually my and that's not even my first pass. My first pass is usually a handwritten outline. I'll take a piece of paper and I'll go page 1, 2, 3, 4, up to page 20 or whatever, up to page 50 or whatever, and then I'll write down a 1-line thing of what happens on each page. And then from that, I'll go and do my serial killer outlines, or my thumbnails. And then I'll go and do, it's crazy, right? Who does this stuff 3 times? I don't know.
But you need that sort of those extra steps to sort of check yourself. Yeah.
Yep. See, you get it, man.
I get it.
Yeah.
Even the reason why I do it in Flash is so I could see it on that timeline, and I can even it's almost like getting a bird's eye view of the book, and I can see Act 1 is 100 pages. That's crazy. I need to scoot that over so it's a fourth of the page count.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, people ask me why I do the storyboard thumbnails instead of a script, is because it's hard to explain, but you as an artist will probably get it. We're very visual that way.
Yeah.
And I need to see it, and I can see the pacing. I could see, this panel needs to be big, or you need to a close up here, or if I'm writing that just on a page, that's fine, but it doesn't give me that visual need that I have to see it. And then I can say, oh, there's too many panels on this page. I have to cut it down. What am I cutting out? What am I adding in? Or it needs an extra panel or something like that. And that's when I usually wind up doing that.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's I even when I do the sort of sweetening pass, I'll export a whole PDF without any word balloons, any dialogue, and see if I can read it without any dialogue. So I want it to be able to be almost like you watch a movie on mute, but still get what's going on. It needs to work on that level.
Right.
Yeah.
Comics are easy to do. That's what everybody tells you, right? Comics are easy to do. You just draw a picture.
Yeah, just draw a picture. I know. I hate when people are like, oh, you need to get a movie made. Just make a comic book and make it be successful. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that advice. Oh, man. All right. I think we got off topic, maybe. That's okay. Yeah. We warned everybody at the beginning that would happen. Yeah, tell us.
Bruce Jackstone was again commenting about dealing with individuals in the collaboration process. Well, for me, I'm having a tough time trying to find collaborators to help me and my bud on potentially different comic and webcomic projects. Any help, anybody? And some projects I've done alone, but still I need help a little bit.
Yeah, that's tough, right? Like that's the toughest step. If like, because you meet a lot of writers at these conventions, and they want an artist to sort of bring their book to life, but yeah, it takes trust, because like what people don't realize, like, and I always like post memes about this, but like the writing of a comic book is like the tiniest bit, and the drawing is what takes all the physical effort and time. So like to get an artist to want to do your book, you got to pay them first. Like that's number one. And you gotta realize that it's like, it takes a toll on people. Like sitting and drawing an entire graphic novel or comic book takes a toll on somebody. So like keep that in mind.
Look at the two different companies and their different methods. I don't know if Marvel's still doing. Marvel was doing it using plots, where DC was full scripts. Where the plot, you'd get an idea of what the story would be, and then the artist would go ahead, draw the story, and then the writer would come back just to script it.
Yeah, it's kind of like in animation. There's like what they call board-driven shows or script-driven shows. So like something like Adventure Time was a board-driven show. So basically, they got a bunch of artists that could like draw storyboards in the room, and then it was all just like doodling ideas. So that's how the ideas came out. Like they'd go off of a sort of a premise, that the showrunner came up with, but then the storyboard artist would just sort of like have sort of carte blanche of what like they wanted the arc of the story to be. It's like two different flavors.
It's not as easy as people think it is. It's really hard to sit there and, like I've said this before, like, ideas, I have plenty of them. And my wife says all the time, like, my mind never stops. It like goes all the time. But, you get into these things when you're thinking of story, you're thinking of plot, or you're thinking of dialogue. And literally I was sitting here once like this, just staring at the ceiling, because this is my office, and I was sitting here staring at the ceiling, and my wife was coming by, because it leads to the garage, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And literally I'm like, writing. And she goes, "Oh, okay," because she knows. And then she went to the grocery store, and she came back like about a half an hour, 40 minutes later, and I was still sitting here, and she walked by, she goes, "Still writing?" I'm like, because it's a drain. And then if you sit there and you draw all day, you think about sitting at this table for like 8 hours a day drawing. People are like, "Why are you tired? Why are you going to bed? What'd you do all day? You just sat there all day." Man, it's exhausting. It takes a toll on you.
I was gonna.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna ask you why you thumbnailed and did all those steps. Is it because you could be on different like desks and different surfaces?
Well, I've been asked to do some artwork for different books before, but I turned them down because of my school schedule. And everybody who's watching this I think they know, I'm a high school art teacher. So I can carry a notebook to school with me, and in between classes, if I get an idea, I can jot it down, or nowadays I just type it on my phone in a Google Doc. It's easier to write a script on the go than to carry my drawing board, or nowadays my iPad. I'll carry my iPad with me everywhere, because man, I don't know about you, but that thing has become my entire life. I watch TV shows on it. I read comics on it. Yeah, I watch TV on it. It's when I'm at work or something like that.
Yeah.
When I'm at work or something, I'll actually, it has a it has a picture-in-picture function, so I can actually minimize the TV screen and put it up in the corner while I'm drawing.
Oh wow!
So I'll watch like TV shows. I was watching
I always
Superman
have
and
my
Lois the other day.
TV up like off to the side, so I basically do that, but physical
in the
space.
studio, I have a large screen TV right up here on the wall. But like the other day, I was in a parking lot. I was waiting for someone, and I had my iPad. So I pop on a show. I was watching Superman and Lois as I'm drawing pages. So it's on the same thing. So I'm reading my comics. I'm watching TV. I'm drawing on there. I'm typing on there. I'm typing up scripts and stuff like that. So I'm doing everything on it.
Yeah.
See, for me, I was using my iPad last Friday, to watch the hockey game while keeping up
we
with
were
the
on.
comments.
That's right. That's right.
Not because you're Canadian, you're legally obligated to watch hockey, right?
Yeah, it's part of our religion.
Yeah. Houston used to have a hockey team, right? Houston, Texas. I don't remember.
I'm not
the
sure.
Dallas Stars.
Dallas
Right.
Stars, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the Minnesota North Stars that went down to Dallas.
Okay. Yeah.
But Houston, I can't think of a team.
Arrow, does that sound familiar? Houston Arrows?
The Astros is baseball.
Yeah, Astros is baseball.
You might be thinking about a minor league team or something like that too, because there's a lot of those around.
Yeah, Austin used to have the Ice Bats, and that was like the minor league hockey team. Yeah, I don't think it lasted very long.
Yeah, I'm not into the sports balls. I don't know.
Oh yeah, me neither. Yeah, I mean that's basically what Chunky is about. It's sort of like
sports balls.
My rejection of sports. Like it takes it's almost like the structure of a sports movie, but like it's anti-sports. So I always do this stuff where it's like, okay, if you're a fan of this, you'll like it. If you hate it, you'll also like it. Like
there you go.
Like my comic book and my podcast Hero Hotel, I always like to say like, okay, if you hate Marvel and DC movies, you'll love it because it makes fun of it. But then if you love it, you'll also love it because you'll get all the jokes.
Right.
Yeah, so that's been a challenge too, like writing a narrative podcast because I'm so visual, like all my gags are visual.
Right.
So writing audio jokes has taken like a different part of my brain.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
Scripted podcast. I'm doing a scripted podcast right now, working on one with my son actually.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll get it up and on the air like next year, hopefully. But
you're just self-producing it?
Kind of, sort of, but we'll see. We'll announce one. But the process is, because my son is like he's like just finished college, and I'm like, oh, let's work on this project together. It'll be fun, type thing. So he's very been trained very much in screenwriting.
Nice.
In plays and stuff like that. So he'll write something like, visual. And I'm like, oh, okay, you have to remember this is an audio. There is no visual. You have to explain everything, that you would visually, type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. With Hero Hotel, like basically like I played into the old, superhero tropes where it's like every time a superhero like enters, they'll say like, it is I, Noble Metal. Like they announce their name as if like they're waiting for the applause.
Right. And
then the narrator we got is the character's name is Stanley L. Jackson. So it's basically like a Stan Lee and Samuel L. Jackson combined. But the actor we got is amazing because he sounds exactly like Samuel L. Jackson. So I have him like with that same cadence and like yelling everything and like, yeah. But yeah, you should check it out.
Is this is this a finite thing or is it like episodic or what are we talking here? Because this is the first I'm hearing of this. I think I've seen it on your social medias, but I didn't make the connection.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Not a lot of people are making the connection. Yeah, so it's basically like right now it's 2 seasons, 10 episodes a season, and each episode's like 30 minutes long. So it's like watching an animated series, but listening to it. And it's all like it's episodic, but there's an overarching like storyline. Sort of like wraps up in the finale. But yeah, right now we're finishing up season 2, and then still waiting to hear if there's going to be like more seasons.
Now, is this something you're producing or someone else is doing?
No, someone else. So it's for the Pinna Network, which is PINNA, Pinna, and they are like an audio podcast network. They do a bunch of stuff. So it's an
cool.
app. It's like a standalone app. So it's subscription based. So like kids are, parents can subscribe for their kids, and then the kids can feel free to like click on whatever. So they'll never be, they'll never hear commercials, or they'll never be spit out to another website. Like it's all self-contained, which is nice. But now that Apple Podcast is allowing people to subscribe directly through Apple Podcast, now you'll be able to like subscribe to the Pinna channel on Apple Podcast.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of it. Like it's I think it stands up there with the best of the best, if I do say so myself.
The question I get a lot is because people find out I'm a teacher and the comic stores, and then the podcast, the podcast, and then drawing and stuff like that, and writing and stuff like that. People are like, "When do you sleep?" Yeah. And I'm like, well, basically never. But I don't think I've ever met anybody doing as much as I'm doing at the same time as you are. You got a whole bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah, and I'm writing a couple of screenplays, and directing an animated short for Nickelodeon. An original idea. Yeah,
that's cool. Are you allowed to talk about that or not yet?
It hasn't been announced yet.
Okay.
I'll wait off.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
And then it's been
awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, we got anybody out there? Questions or anything?
Not yet.
Nice.
Pretty quiet.
Told you. Nobody watches this thing while we're spoiling things.
Yeah.
So getting back to Loki.
Oh, yeah.
So the castle, if it's Kang, it'd be cool. But I think we were talking about, wouldn't it be interesting if it was like the different versions of Kang, where you have a Mortis, Ramatut.
Oh.
I don't. That would be cool. I don't know if they go that inside baseball.
Yeah, it's got to be satisfying. Because like we know Loki, we've seen Loki for how many movies, so we know the personality. So then introducing versions of Loki is satisfying, because it's like, oh, this is funny because it's an old Loki. Like if we're introduced to a character and then immediately are like, you're different versions of it, I feel like it wouldn't be as satisfying. Yeah, that's why it's going to be tricky. So like with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was really disappointed with it. Like I felt like it did not really pay off. Like it started strong, right? But I felt like it just kind of spun its wheels a little bit, and it didn't really have that satisfying of a payoff, especially with like Sharon Carter being like somehow the big bad. I don't know. I didn't buy it. Yeah, it was unsatisfying. Yeah.
Well, we have a new viewer. Mr. Art Baltazar.
Oh, there you
go. Hey.
He has to watch Loki first before I watch you guys.
Okay.
Oh, well, we're almost done talking about Loki, but check this out.
Look. Top button. Wait, has Art seen Black Widow yet? Should we jump to Black Widow?
Yeah, he'll jump in if we did, because we're about to talk Black Widow, because we've been talking about Loki this whole time in and out. Yeah. But
top button.
The thing about Loki, and this is not a spoiler thing. Yeah. This is with all the shows. I've liked all the shows because they've been so different. WandaVision and Falcon, Winter Soldier, and this have just been so different from each other, and also they've been good. And in the sense that I don't see a lot of these endings coming. And usually, I don't know about you, but me being someone who kind of like, does a lot of this, writing and drawing and story stuff, I could sit there on the couch with my wife and say, oh, this is happening next, or that's the bad guy, or this, and with this, I've been surprised pleasantly a few times. And I'm like, oh, that's good. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're top quality. I think WandaVision and Falcon the Winter Soldier got they suffered from the reshoots and the shutdowns from COVID. Because like you heard about the original ending for WandaVision, how there was supposed to be like this huge massive battle, like with like a giant rabbit, like the rabbit that was like that Agatha had, like there was going to be a big thing, and then that was the thing, like the two kids were going to have to battle. Like I feel like they had to rewrite that and sort of reshoot that, like to be more,
COVID friendly,
I guess. Yeah. So then the ending was just sort of like, oh, the kids ran around real fast and they took everybody's gun, right? And then it didn't feel like as epic as it like was building up to be. Right?
Yeah.
And even like the sword stuff, like that guy Hayward was like, I knew he was like not going to be the ultimate like big bad, but I feel like they could have like wrapped up all the sword storyline way earlier.
Right.
Like just gotten rid of them when she turned them all into clowns, or like, because it really did not pay off after that. Right. Like what did he do? He drives in and then instantly wants to shoot a kid. Like it just did not feel like earned, like that moment.
Yeah. Well, sometimes kids could be really annoying.
True. Yeah.
Okay, Art says we can go ahead and he hasn't seen Black Widow, but we can go ahead and spoil it.
Okay.
Oh,
he's still watching.
We were going to anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Black Widow now. All right.
Yeah. Initial thoughts. First of all,
Initial
go around
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Oh,
like
okay.
It was a shame that it didn't come out like when it was supposed to. Like, and I'm not even talking like pre-COVID. Like it should have come out like right after Civil War. Like I feel like, and this is just sort of like a global like that period after Civil War when they're on the run, the Scovia Accords, and Ross is like hunting them down. Like I thought that was really great about Black Widow. This movie was like, oh, she can't call her friends because she's on the run. Like I thought that was great. Like that's beautiful, because like with all these like teen movies and like Avengers assembling for all these giant threats, it's like that's when it gets harder and harder for Marvel to justify these standalone movies where, oh, just call Iron Man, right? Like, like just do this. Like you've got these superhero friends. Like,
but wasn't the big problem with Ike Perlman not wanting to go ahead with a Black Widow movie, and that's why they couldn't get it out?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like, no. I think part of the delay in like trying to slap it in there is because of previous Marvel.
The sexism in top Marvel was like rampant. Like I used to work at Disney Interactive, and we were working on this toy to life thing called Marvel Playmation, where it's like the kid could wear an Iron Man arm, and then it was like they'd get to play like laser tag with their action figures. It was a cool idea. It never really worked very well. That's why we like that
was like Captain Power.
Yeah. But this was like all audio driven on your, like the kid would hear like almost like Jarvis would be your DM. So he would like take you through missions and say like, oh, shoot to your left. And the kid shoots to his left. And it's like, oh, you got the whatever. Yes. So, but it was crazy how they treated Black Widow. Like even in Marvel, like back in, and this was like during Age of Ultron. Like, we dealt with like the toy division also with Marvel, and like remember
that was what like 8-9 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Had to have been, right? Because the whole Marvel universe isn't that like maybe 10 years?
Ago. Yeah,
10 years altogether.
Yeah, but like remember the toy they put out? It was Iron Man on the motorcycle and not Black Widow. Even though, like, why would Iron Man ride a motorcycle? Like,
I do remember that.
That's how they treated Black Widow. Like, for some reason, they're like, boys don't play with girls' toys. Girls don't play with these action figures. We don't need the girls.
Wow.
And like even on our app, so we were gonna have an app that sort of like was gonna be like the interface to the game, where you sort of launched missions. And I wanted to come up with like, oh, can we have like a shield character be like the database? Like, so I wanted what's her name?
Maria Hill.
Yeah, I wanted Maria Hill. And like, can we just have Maria Hill so like the kid can like almost like chat with her and ask about these bad guys and see what their weaknesses are? And Marvel said, no, don't use Maria Hill. Have that be Black Widow. And I was like, what? Like that makes it seem like Black Widow is like the Avengers secretary.
Right.
Like she's not out there kicking ass. Like she's just there by a computer. It's like, and it was so
had
weird,
a better
like, how
role.
they treated.
Yeah, she had a better role in the Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, the animated series.
Right.
If you watch those Avengers series, she had a better role in those series
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah, that's why it was like, it was a real shame that, like, I feel like a standalone Black Widow movie should have happened right before Age of Ultron, and then the sequel should have been like after Civil War. Like, I feel like we were
I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched it with my son, and that was my comment. I'm like, I like the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it wasn't as good as some of the other Marvel movies, but pretty good. I've liked them all. I really have. Story driven, just good stuff. But my question to him was like, why didn't this come out like earlier? And you know, if we're gonna go to the tagline, you know, the after credit scene at the end, spoiler, you know, that could have been, you know, not the ending that they put in there.
Right.
If it had come out way back when, you didn't need that type thing. Why didn't you develop this character so much earlier in this franchise and in this succession of movies?
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Yeah, like it was really a shame. But this, so that aside, like let's leave that criticism aside. Like just this movie standing on its own, it felt a little long in the middle. And I might say something controversial, but I don't think you needed the David Harbour character at all.
But I liked
I know he was, you liked him. Like he was
comedy relief.
He was comic relief. Yeah.
But you
like,
know,
narratively, you did not need that character.
But the sister, I forget, I'm horrible with names, but the sister, Florence
Pugh, yeah.
Pugh, who I love, by the way.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah. The ScarJo and Florence Pugh are amazing. Like it's a shame we're not going to get like 2 more movies with them, like being like buddy cops, like, you know, saving other Black Widows. Like,
oh yeah, they have great chemistry together.
Yeah. Yeah. And like their bickering and bantering is so much better than, I feel like they force bickering like with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
We brought that up.
Yeah, like their bickering didn't feel as earned as like ScarJo and Florence Pugh. Like I feel like that felt more natural, like how they're sort of picking at each other. And because I feel like Scarlett Johansson let herself be the straight man to the duo, right? Like Florence Pugh is the funny one, sort of picking at the straight man, and like.
But it's always the older sibling picking on the younger one.
Yeah.
And you're always like, the younger one gets no respect.
Right. Yeah.
We can relate, us younger siblings.
Yeah. But yeah, that was funny. Yeah. But yeah, those 2 are great. And that's why I felt like either the big bad should have been David Harbour, or like, because it just didn't feel like you needed him narratively. Like, and also I was confused at why did the mother turn? Like we didn't really get the moment of why she, you know, she's been the scientist working for the big bad this whole time.
But she didn't turn. She was just under the influence.
Was she?
But
no,
she didn't. She wasn't aware. She wasn't aware of who was being manipulated with the chemicals to be
she knew that there was a bunch of them that were,
but she didn't know who.
And she was one of them that went through the training.
She kept that photo album of them when they were living their fake lives in the U.S.
And also that whole pheromone thing. She knew about that. So she was aware.
Knew they were Black Widows. She knew these girls were still being like imprisoned. I just felt like we didn't get the moment of like why she turned good. That's why I felt like it would have been cleaner narratively if she was the one in jail that they had to break out.
I think it was more because of when she found out it was her youngest daughter,
right,
was turned. That was
I guess I just didn't buy that she didn't know. Like she's that high up and that involved in the program, and she doesn't know. I don't know. That I didn't buy.
Unless again, stovepiping the different departments.
Yeah.
See, here's the controversy. We're going to argue it.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. Go for it.
See, I felt personally, I love this film. It's a perfect companion with Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
For espionage,
it's tonally more like Winter Soldier. And maybe that's what, like, so we're so used to the jokey Marvel now, like everything is light now, that you forget like how, like, you know, serious and like emotional Winter Soldier was. So that's why it felt like, oh yeah, this should have been way earlier in the lineup. It felt like, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this before we get more into the analysis of this movie.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Marvel movie of them all going through? Because a lot of people inevitably wind up answering Winter Soldier,
right,
as their favorite Marvel movie. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
I guess it depends. I mean, my favorite is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that to me is like tonally like my sense of humor.
A pretty perfect movie all the way through, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's just like my go-to favorite. I love that group of goofballs and yeah. But like, I mean, but like just what they did with Endgame, like Infinity War Endgame, it's just amazing. Like how masterful they pulled that off. Like that could have really been terrible.
Right.
But but they had a plan and they stuck to it. Like that's what, like, you know, if we want to jump into Star Wars real quick, like that's where like I feel like Star Wars was lacking, was like having that plan and sticking with it.
Yeah, we don't talk about Star Wars on this show, but no, you're right, because they wung it, and that bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so what's your favorite Marvel?
I would have to say Guardians is pretty much up there for me too as one of my favorites. But in the building of these heroes and the universe and all that other stuff, I'd have to go Winter Soldier. Just because, you know, it's just so much depth and intrigue, and they just, you know, everything's set up. And Guardians for me is a perfect movie start to finish. Set up, payoff, everything, but it comes so out of left field. You know, like, you know, these characters are like a raccoon in a tree. Like, what the hell is this? And it almost feels like it doesn't belong in the Marvel universe until you get to the Avengers movies. You know, the Endgame and Infinity Gauntlet. You know.
Yeah. Winter Soldier. Yeah, I also loved Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. I know that's not technically.
Yes, it is. Phase 3.
It's phase 3, technically? Okay.
Yeah, I have it. I have all the MCU up now.
Right. Yeah, like that one I thought was pretty great. And then conversely, I did not like Far From Home at all.
Really?
Like, yeah. I had a lot of problems with Far From Home. And it kind of dovetails into what I loved about WandaVision, was they treated the blip and post-blip like they acknowledged it. It felt like Far From Home was like, oh, let's get it out of the way and like let's have a fun, like, European road trip comedy. When, like, you know, after Endgame, I felt like we were robbed of that sort of like almost the epilogue movie of like dealing with the mess of the blip, you know.
Right. Well, I could see where they didn't want to deal with it too much because it was that was a Disney side of things. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And then also, like, with Far From Home, like I hated the whole glasses thing. Like Tony's glasses,
Mm-hmm.
Edith, like how like Edith can identify some random high school kid and know everything about him, but they don't recognize like a former employee of Stark Industry. Like they just did not handle that smoothly. You know?
Right. I did like the sleight of hand they did with Mysterio on that, though.
Yeah,
like because they had me thinking he was from a different universe and everything, which I thought was masterful.
Yeah.
And then he turns out to be, no, I'm from here. I'm just like, pulling the wool over everybody's eyes.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping a little bit like Black Widow would accomplish was, justify a prequel by like changing like something, like it should have like illuminated something that, paid off in rewatches of the movies we've already seen, or like, oh, why did she make this choice? It's like, oh, it's because.
But now you can by watching it in the sequence that you want.
That's true. I was going to bring that up too, because a lot of these movies, like they have, online you can look up the
actual
the
timeline.
chronological order type thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So wait, where do they say Iron Man 3 comes in?
All right.
This is why Wayne's here.
Yeah.
That's why Wayne's here. Wayne had it up. Wayne just has to go back one.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but I can see some flaws with it.
Yeah.
Going through, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Iron Man number 3 takes place after the Avengers and before Thor: The Dark World.
What, really?
Yeah.
Sometimes it should be later than that.
No, according to the... Okay, I'll read you the... this is the cinematic universe in order.
Okay.
Captain America, the First Avenger, then Agent Carter, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Thor.
Incredible Hulk is after Iron Man 2?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, they have... okay.
So how did they justify like S.H.I.E.L.D. not helping out with...
Okay, now, I think these other little ones, they have these... I think it's like the... part of the end credits. Because after the Incredible Hulk, they have a funny thing. And that is...
Oh, that's when they find the hammer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that. So then after that, you have Thor. Then they have the Consultant. Marvel one-shots. Okay, forget that.
Yeah, that's another thing. They need to go back to doing these Marvel one-shots. Those were great.
Yeah. Then the Avengers. Item 47.
Yeah.
Then Iron Man 3. All Hail the King.
Yeah.
That's the Ben Kingsley one-shot.
Yeah, where you see Zola is still alive, right?
Yeah. Thor: The Dark World. Winter Soldier. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Age of Ultron. Ant-Man. Civil War. Black Widow. Black Panther. Homecoming. Doctor Strange. Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Infinity War. Then there's a break.
Okay.
Endgame. WandaVision. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Far From Home. That's the order they're putting it in.
Yeah, see, I feel like... All right, hear me out on this one.
They're saying from 2019 to 2022, that's the blip.
Yeah.
Endgame takes place in 2023, so does WandaVision. And in 2024 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Far From Home.
Oh, it's that far in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
yes,
what were you going to say?
I was going to say that and maybe this is where these sort of like standalone movies can fall, is because I feel like you could have done like some standalone movies, like I said, like when they were all on the run from the Sokovia Accords and Ross. You could have had fun with like standalone, like maybe those are like one shots or like even Disney Plus series of like what they were doing on the run and why, you know, the troubles they got into where they couldn't just call Captain America to help.
Or how they broke everyone out of the raft.
Well, that they explain that with the Quinjet, right? Like that's how at the end.
Yeah, but we didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you could have like a Mission Impossible type of them getting different people. That Reed Richards could be brought in.
There you go.
No, but then that wouldn't explain what happens afterwards, why he's not there, type thing.
Right. Yeah,
because he's back in the negative zone with the rest of the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's another thing. Like Captain Marvel, I feel like at the end of the first,
that's my least favorite movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's structurally the worst. Like literally, that movie you could have her land and then go straight to the air base. Like all the stuff in between is just sort of like nonsense.
That, and I found her performance. I've talked about this before. I like
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, but man, I thought she was like a piece of wood. You could have put a 2x4 in that movie, and I thought it would have been like a better performance.
Yeah,
you know,
I liked her. I don't know. There's something about her being like really just dry that I liked. There's Miss Minutes.
Oh yeah. Ooh. That's awesome.
Yeah, I liked her. Like, but Miss Marvel, I feel like she should have been like captured at the end. So then you have a justification of why she hasn't been around. You know, oh nice. And then I feel like we could have even had another phase during the blip. Like I wanted to see a whole Black Panther movie where it was Shuri as Black Panther, and like a whole Spider-Man movie where it was, what's her name, Zendaya's character, you know,
Mary Jane.
Yeah, like if it was her like taking up the Spider-Man duties like for a whole movie. Like I feel like we missed out on the during the blip ragtag standalone movies. Like I feel like that could have been narratively very interesting because it's like the entire galaxy is going through this mess,
right?
Like, you know, what is everybody
that's
doing?
If we want to introduce, let's say, Spider Gwen or Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
That's where they're done. Yeah.
You can do them during the blip.
Yeah, but they had to like, you know, it was smart of them to then wrap it up with Endgame. But like, I feel like they could have squeezed in a couple more phases, or like at least one phase that's like a during the blip phase.
So you think you don't think that they'll go back and actually do any of those? Because look what they did with Black Widow here, and they brought her back all the way through time there.
Yeah,
you know, we went back.
Hope they don't though, because like you want forward progression, unless it informs something that sort of drastically. Because it was interesting that. I like the whole pheromone thing with Black Widow. It's almost like the RoboCop, like the fourth directive, like RoboCop can't shoot, you know, like OCP, right? Like I love that in Black Widow. But I felt like, they could have even added one more thing that it's like, that's why she did this in Infinity War because she couldn't because of this. You know, like I feel like we missed out on stuff like that, like to justify a prequel. Like, but basically, it was just the vest. This was the only thing. Like, like how did she get the vest? Like,
now I want to go back and watch all the other Marvel movies and see if she's wearing that vest.
Yeah, I didn't remember the vest being such a big thing. Like, but apparently it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is Kevin Feige doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hearing from you.
If that's the only thing you take from this, I want you to remember. I could have done it better than Kevin Feige. But moving forward, it's like I even think like, you know, Better Call Saul is, you know, it's definitely one of the best shows on TV, right? Like, and it's a prequel to Breaking Bad, but it's always going to have a little bit of that. All right, it feels like the deleted scenes from Breaking Bad. A little bit,
Yes. See, that's why I
there's
hate
no
when
forward momentum.
Yeah, I hate when they do those prequel shows.
Yeah.
Because like that's what I'm thinking through all of Black Widow. Is I'm thinking none of this matters because she's not here.
Right. And then that's the added thing of like then having her dead is like even worse. Like that's why like I feel like they could have just started the movie at the grave and it's all being told from Florence Pugh's perspective.
I usually hate when they do that in movies. I hate when they jump around like that and they're like, oh, this is a bad example because it's not a good example, but like in John Wick, in the very beginning when they show him all beat up and he smashes a car and all that other stuff, and then they go back. I hate that. Right. I usually hate in John Wick. It doesn't bother me that much because it really doesn't give away too much type thing, But what it does for me is, if that's where you're ending the movie, where they're picking it up, I know he's gonna make it to that point. You know what I mean? Like everything's gonna be fine. I'm watching Black Widow and she dead.
Yeah.
I know that already.
I still believe that if this came out, if they would have done a Black Widow movie when they wanted to do the Black Widow movie, your opinions would have changed. Yes. They could have still used the same story, take out even the Endgame stuff or the blonde-haired Black Widow. If you take that part out and just did everything up to the end of the Red Room, and if they would have placed that when they wanted to do a Black Widow movie, I don't think you'd have the same feelings.
Oh, 100%.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that.
And that's how I looked into it. I looked at it that way, that this belongs here. If they had the balls to do it, this would have came out. Because you look at Atomic Blonde was a great movie. I loved Atomic Blonde.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where you could show that a female character, she'd make a perfect, Charlize Theron would make a perfect James Bond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Atomic Blonde was a James Bond movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, that's why like part of me thought like, okay, if you were to do because like you could justify bringing her back to life. Like this is all comic
multiverse.
Right? Like I wanted like part of me thought like, oh, it would be interesting to see a Black Widow in space teaming up with Gamora, like, and it's like a cosmic adventure of them trying to get out of the soul realm or wherever their
also teaming with the cast from the Fast and the Furious, since they're in space too now.
Exactly. You got Ludacris in space. Yeah.
But that's essentially, everything that Loki is doing, can undo everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, and then that's why I hope there aren't too many of those, because then those also will feel a little one-off and not as consequential.
Yeah.
Because that's what worked so beautifully with the whole first 4 phases, right? What was Endgame ended phase 4, right?
Endgame is end of phase 3.
Oh, okay.
We're right now in phase 4.
Okay. Yeah. So the beauty of the first 3 phases was there were consequences and it built. So if from now on we just get too many of these, like, oh, you could skip this movie and you'll be fine. You can skip this TV series, you'll be fine. That won't feel as satisfying, I feel like.
Right. Having said all that, and the way I feel like you feel like this is all said and done and Natasha's dead and all that other stuff, because that's not a spoiler. That happened in Endgame, right? Yeah. Or whatever. But I love Florence as the new Black Widow. And I think why not Falcon Winter Soldier, why Captain America Winter Soldier did so well for me as a story is because you look at Bucky's story arc, right?
Mhm.
And how he's set up in the first Captain America, and then he's done, and like we don't see him.
Yeah.
You know, they have Avengers and they have Age of Ultron, and they have all this other stuff happening, and then he comes back, you know, in Winter Soldier, and that's ballsy, and that's good storytelling, and that's, you know, setting somebody up way back then.
Yeah.
You know, Florence Pugh as the new Black Widow would
Mhm.
work for me so much, and I think I would love her as the new Black Widow, but it would work so much more for me and have so much more impact if this movie had come out in the timeline that it should have.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now they're going to bring her back in phase 4. You know, like that happened in phase 2 or whatever, and then she's forgotten about and left by the wayside. Now she's coming back,
Yeah.
type thing. You know?
Yeah. 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 It's frustrating. But yeah. So what do you think moving forward? I guess we can jump to the end credits. So it's Madam Hydra, right?
Contessa, right?
Contessa. But she's
And-
Madam Hydra, right? Or I guess she doesn't say that, right? But in the comics.
Oh no, the Contessa is not Madam Hydra.
Oh, she's not?
No, in the comics, she's Nick Fury's girlfriend from the
Oh,
Steranko run.
okay. But then, do we think she's bad, or she's just sort of the gray?
We have no idea how they're using her here.
She's gray Nick Fury.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I told you I'm done hypothesizing because I'm always wrong.
She could be the successor to Hydra.
Yeah. And that's why, like, does she know about?
Because they made a point. Sorry to interrupt, but they made a point of Rachel. I forget the names of character names,
Weisz.
but Rachel Weisz. I forget her character name, but she made a point of mentioning when we were in Ohio. You know, we were infiltrating that SHIELD thing, but they were all Hydra agents. She made a point of pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was another thing I felt like narratively they could have used was because the big bad was like, he was like sort of just cartoonishly bad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Like Ray Winstone was just like evil to be evil.
Right.
It would have been more interesting if he was, he's Russian. They're basically the Russian, like he saw himself as Russian SHIELD.
Right.
And it would have been interesting if he was also like fighting Hydra this whole time. So it would have been interesting to have like that entity, they're the opposite of SHIELD, but they're both SHIELD and whatever we're calling the Red Room entity. We're both fighting Hydra. That would have been interesting.
Well,
So then his supervillain monologue could have been like, while America was falling under the influence of Hydra, I was keeping the world safe.
right.
I thought that could have been more interesting.
You know what I think? I think you and I should write the next phase of Marvel movies.
There we go. Mr. Feige.
Because he watches this, so
Yeah.
And then I love the little drop of Crimson Dynamo. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. and especially his delivery. No, Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Right. And I love what they did with Taskmaster. Love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that I had to go to the bathroom when they set up the whole daughter thing. So like when they pulled off the hood, I was like, okay, that must have.
Now, did you
some
see
sort of
did you
setup.
see it in the theaters or did you see it on the Disney Plus?
I saw it in theaters.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It was nice. It was weird though. Like, because opening night Marvel crowd, you're expecting the opening night Marvel crowd, but you could tell everyone was nervous. Like the Marvel bumper comes up and a few people are like clapping, but like no one wants to be loud and like everyone has masks on. Like it was definitely a more subdued opening night Marvel crowd.
Well,
yeah. But hopefully we'll get back to it. Because what's the next one? What's the next movie? Doctor Strange?
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The Legend of the Ten Rings.
That looks
And
great.
Where Franco will come back.
let's
and
not
tell
bring.
you your theory.
I was gonna say, let's not. Please, let's not bring that up here. He's our
What
guest.
happened? What happened? What happened?
I'm
What's the
not
theory?
gonna. I'm
No,
not
no.
gonna say it.
No, this is for you. You'll have to go back and check the
Okay.
previous
I'll be
episode.
back. I can't wait.
Who
That's
was
how
on
we
that
get people to
episode?
come back to watch for more.
Who was on that episode, by the way? I forget when we were talking
You
about
brought
that.
it up a few times.
That's because it annoyed me a few times.
Uh-oh.
And then after that is the Eternals.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be weird.
And the last movie for 2021 is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, Doctor Strange
Right.
is next year, right?
Oh, we don't even.
Yeah,
get
Doctor Strange is in March.
In
Oh,
March
damn.
of next year, yeah.
Yeah, March 25th.
Now, see, you think Eternals is going to be weird. When I first saw it, I'm thinking, oh, that's going to be weird too. But I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I thought that
Guardians
was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that at least had the accessibility of being funny.
Did it
Right?
though? Because it could have been like really horrible.
Oh yeah, it could have been. But I mean, the fact like the trailer was like opens with the ooga chaka, you know, like you immediately saw the tone was like.
Well, it's the Quentin Tarantino way to
needle drop.
promote a movie. Have a
Yeah.
great soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I feel like Eternals just seems so serious that,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Like
but
it-
you know, it could be good. I want these to be good.
No, I'm sure it'll be good.
Just
And
like
that's
I've
the
wanted
thing,
every
like,
single DC movie to be good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you know, we're criticizing Black Widow a little bit, but it's still great. Like it's still like amazing action, and like Scarlett Johansson gives a great performance. Like I feel like she did really well, like really like adding depth to that, you know, to that character.
Mhm.
Like, but like, yeah, like compared to like DC movies, like I feel like DC needs to step it up.
Like you're slogging through some of those, man. Woof.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they know how to do the animation side.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Young Justice is amazing.
Yeah. That's always been the weird thing, right? DC does better animated. That's why my whole thing with Superman, I don't want to see another live action Superman. Like, stop it. We don't need another live action Superman. I want to see an animated Pixar quality Superman movie.
Well, isn't that what the Super Pets is going to be? Maybe.
No, because it's all the Super Pets. No, I want to see like retro futuristic, like men in fedoras, like classic
Max Fleischer.
Yeah.
You want to see the Bruce Timm, back to when Bruce Timm did Superman.
Yeah. That's still the best animated, right? Last Son of Krypton, like that pilot movie was like, that's some of the best Superman.
Yeah.
Like do that fully CG, like with a studio budget, like that's what I want to see. Like I feel like even like X-Men, like this might be controversial, but I want to see a nicely animated CG X-Men. Like I don't want to see people in like black leather running around like, and you know, bad CGI effects on them. Like I want to see like Beasts animated. Like I want to see Colossus animated, you know?
Nightcrawler bamping all over the place.
Yeah. Like I feel like the studios for some reason aren't taking chances on that kind of animation. That's why like Into the Spider-Verse, you know,
Was amazing.
That's still the best animated movie ever, right? Like,
Right.
And the best superhero movie, right? Like, because it really did what you couldn't do in live action.
Right.
And like really pushed it.
I mean, that thing came out, and I felt like I was watching a comic book.
Yeah.
You know, that was just blew me away.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I feel like, and then maybe that's what this, you know, maybe this new What If animated series, you know, maybe they'll give us a little bit of that. I mean,
I'm
it's still
excited.
Yeah. But again, it's like it's going to be inconsequential, right? Because it's all like, what if this happened?
But I used to like those What If.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
You know, comics, and if they do it right, it could be very, very much like very Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. but
I
it's
like
all
that we've-
about like having, giving us something that then has stakes, like real stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like Infinity War and Endgame, I mean, that was such a gamble. Like, giant big budget movie where like half of your cast just dies at the end, like, I mean, you knew they were eventually going to come back, but it still was devastating, right? Like,
Right.
narratively, like watching Peter Parker like fade away and like crying and like, you're seeing the look on Tony Stark's face. Like, I mean, that's a big swing for a big movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it would have been really ballsy because you knew they were coming back. If they had brought them back, but it was like some of them were different.
Yeah. That's why, like, hoping the
Like-
next phase is a little bit of that.
Yeah, like Spider-Man came back, but he wasn't Tom Holland. He was somebody else.
Right.
And that would have just been like fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get What If on August 11th,
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
and it's 10 episodes.
See?
And how long? I guess they don't tell you how long the episodes are. Right?
Oh, maybe.
I mean, with the first set of Marvel TV,
No.
they don't even tell you the names of the episodes.
Not yet. No, they don't have up how long they're going to be.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to be like half-hour shows or just short, like 15-minute things. I don't know.
All right. See, no, I should have done this with marker because I don't like the ink. See? You get one of the things I don't like about the ink is like the inconsistency of the black.
Yeah.
When you're doing out a page, and who loves that, and I see it in his pages, and I've talked to him about it, is Mike Mignola.
Mm-hmm.
In his pages,
Oh,
but
he likes the sort of like
like
imperfections.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is like
I like it.
Yeah.
let's do oh, there they are. Look at him.
Oh no.
That's so cool.
Thanks.
You're like all talented and stuff. Look at you.
I try.
See this? You can see all the streaks.
Yeah, but
and
that
stuff
all
like
dries out then, right?
Yeah, but you can still see the streaks, and then I'd always have to, because like you can tell, like see the white streaks and stuff like.
Gives it organic feel.
Yeah.
She's being consumed by the cloud.
That's
Yeah.
right.
See, now I have I'm debating whether I should go all the way to the end of the page or not, or leave it like that. See, I feel like I want to go all the way to the end of the page.
Yeah.
I feel like
you need to go.
it's not complete unless I do.
Yeah.
Damn it! Now I got to go all the way to the end of the page.
Oh wait, did you guys notice the Moonraker reference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like she's watching Moonraker, and then the end is basically Moonraker.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I haven't noticed anyone else who saw that. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
See, there, you could have the Russian bad guy be like Herbert Lom. All stoic.
Yeah.
It's going to be a messy table. Messy.
Messy table.
All right. There's a piece of paper. What else? Well, we've been on a while. Holy cow.
How long have we been on? Oh yeah.
Man. Jeez Louise.
Time flies when you're talking nerd shit.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys are nerds. You guys are nerds, man. I'm loving the fact that we lost all of our viewers. We have like one person watching. I love this.
Well, no. Johnny Fitz says hello, and hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, we are. Thank
Andrew Clark. Yes, we did talk about the end credit scenes with Black Widow.
We did?
Yeah. So, well, we didn't go into detail.
Not into detail.
No.
So, do we think Is it already confirmed that Florence Pugh will be in the Hawkeye TV series?
Oh, see, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he confirm that? Did someone confirm that? I didn't even hear that.
I don't know, but like if she's going to be going after Hawkeye.
Clint.
Well, you would think that that's what they're doing, because they set up Contessa in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then they brought her in here.
But Black Widow, the movie, was supposed to come out before the TV series. So I wonder.
Was it, or was it supposed to come on the heels of it? Or
yeah, it was supposed to be the heel. Like no. Like it was always supposed to be Black Widow. The movie was supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV series. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, like you were supposed to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier
first,
and then be like, oh, that's who that is. Like,
according to Wikipedia, additionally, Florence Pugh reprises her role as Yelena Belova, Black Widow, in Hawkeye.
In Hawkeye. Okay.
There you go.
And we're going to get Lucky the Pizza Dog. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Pizza Dog. Yeah. Yeah, so then that's going to be interesting, too, because, like, you know, it's obviously going for the Matt Fraction.
Mm-hmm.
So then...
definitely it's the Fraction.
But does that mean, like, he's going through a divorce? Like, why is he alone in New York? Like...
Because it changed him.
Yeah.
So that changed him.
Yeah, I mean, he basically turned into a murderer.
Right.
So, like, that will be interesting if we're dealing with that also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more ramifications from the blip, the better, right? Like, the more that, like, changes things up.
Yeah, it makes for good stories, I think.
Yeah.
Great. Now my whole page is all warpy.
Uh-oh.
See, that's the other thing about ink. Your iPad never warps when you fill in blacks.
Now, the other way you could look at this, she just dropped a smoke bomb.
There you go.
And all you see is anything that's not black.
I forgot to enlarge my drawing. Sorry about that, guys. I got into the drawing part and I forgot to minimize myself.
Oh, Art says a big brush might help with the streaks.
Yeah, it won't. It'll still. You've never seen me ink before, so.
And Andrew Clark says there needs to be a lot of Russian guys that say "bro" a lot.
Oh yeah, with tracksuits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, did you get the tracksuit in the opening sequence when he came out of the car?
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, he was wearing a tracksuit.
Who was this? I didn't notice this. What are we talking about here?
The
Russian bad guy.
Oh,
the main bad guy.
Yeah,
so when he was getting out of the car, he was wearing like the tracksuit. It was almost like an episode from Sopranos.
Right.
But that's another thing with like the David Harbour character. Like, I mean, how do you redeem yourself from like giving up those kids? Like, I feel like he should have sacrificed himself and died at the end. Something like how do you bounce back from that?
Well, it's because he believed in the dogma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That he was doing everything for the motherland.
Yeah.
Like if you're that
see, that's why I think
with it.
Yeah, that's why I thought it would have been more interesting if like their enemy was Hydra, and they knew Hydra was like infiltrated SHIELD, and that they thought that they were saving the world. Like I feel like we were missing that justification, because like Killmonger in Black Panther, like that's why he's the best villain, right? Because he was right, like he was totally justified, like he was totally on the right side of history on that.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I mean he went about it wrongly, but
says you, but yeah.
But like I feel like it would have been more interesting if the who's the actor, like what's his name? Who's the actor that played the big bad in Black Panther? Or no, in Black Widow.
Oh,
I don't.
Ray Winstone.
Yes.
Yeah, like if Ray Winstone had that sort of justification, it would have been nice. And he got a little bit of it when he was saying like, oh, like, yeah, basically everyone throws away little girls and I give them purpose. Like, that was interesting. But like, I feel like it would have been more interesting if like he saw himself as fighting against Hydra. Yeah.
See, for the parents, I felt they were just like the parents in The Americans.
Yeah.
Where, especially the mother. Where
Felicity.
she was so, my daughter will do this.
Yeah.
She will go through the same process, like very much so.
Yeah.
Again, it's his belief that what he was doing was for the betterment of his own country.
Yeah.
He would sacrifice his own children. It's like when he was talking to his kids, your ledgers are so dripped in blood.
Yeah.
I love you. You make me so proud.
Yeah, I guess I just then was missing his come to Jesus moment. Like I missed his walls of reality crumbling and then him realizing he was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like
I thought it was when he started to sing American Pie.
No, because he was still keeping that up on the way to the space station thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on the way to the space station, he was just awake for like 2.5 seconds, basically. And I think it was American Pie, because then he told her to get down. You know, when he got hit with the darts and stuff like that. So he was being
parental.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the moment when Black Widow says it was real to me, like to her sister, like that was great. Like that's the beautiful payoff. Like I feel like that was earned. Like that moment was earned.
Andrew Clark was he was hoping that the end credit scene would be Red Guardian fighting Cap as he was time jumping with the stones or something.
Yeah. Because I almost thought that, like that they were gonna like. Because that would have been funny justification for it. Like, oh, he wasn't lying. Yeah, that would have been good.
In '83, he was in ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you calling me a liar? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
See, it had a lot of good moments. It was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
But, like I'm being like super picky with this.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's what happens. Like you get vested with the characters.
Yeah. Because she wears a vest, right? That's why.
It's the only reason I watched it. I'm like, cool, she wears a vest in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm going to have to go over this again to get rid of some of these streaks. Because the streaks bother me. But
yeah. Yeah, see, it's almost like you got a plan for the streaks. Like make that part of the design.
I don't know. It sucks.
I like it.
Great. You're.
Yeah, I'll go.
I look past
line work, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Phyllis.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Again, like for me, I put it up there with Winter Soldier because it didn't feel like a typical Marvel movie.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. No,
it wasn't jokey.
Yeah.
It was serious.
Do you think the
humor about it?
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
The humor was it wasn't sort of like I need to do this punchline to make it funny.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved her. I loved this is a good way to die. This way to die sucks. You know.
Yeah.
I love that. But do you think the whole thing was a metaphor for how Black Widow came to the screen? Because they were just throwing away girls, the whole episode type thing.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely like the perspective of like, you don't treat women the same respect as you treat the men. Yeah. But yeah, and also like I felt like by splitting, like having the two parents and sort of splitting that screen time, you almost got robbed of like Rachel Weisz. Like she's great, but like to see a little bit more of her would have been nice.
I was waiting for them to be in Egypt somewhere and a mummy to show up, because Imhotep was going to show up, and then Brendan Fraser would have been in the closing credits scene. And then you would have brought that whole franchise back. It would have been awesome.
That was a great stunt pig.
That was. I was worried about that pig, and my wife was watching, and luckily she fell asleep because we watched it on Disney Plus. Luckily she fell asleep during that scene because I know she would have been worried about that pig because I was worried about that pig.
Well, and I was also waiting for that to pay off too. Like at the end, like out of the ship comes like her army of super smart pigs to like.
Yeah, and they could have had a line.
Flight of the Pigs as opposed to Flight of the Valkyries.
They could have had some line like, you know, that'll happen. Like the bad guy could say, that'll happen when pigs fly.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
See,
we should do the next phase. Damn it.
Phase 4.5.
There you go. But it's it's like fun things like that. They should bring back to those Marvel one shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's what we're going to get with What If.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is the Marvel one shots.
Yeah. And now, what's the next? I guess Hawkeye. When does Hawkeye, this TV series, come out?
It's supposed to be like August, right, or September, or something like that.
Wait,
or maybe even November.
Book of Boba Fett.
I think December is the book of Boba Fett.
I like a good Christmas Boba Fett, Mandalorian.
Well, why wouldn't he be? If you think back to the holiday special.
Yeah, exactly.
TV, where does it go?
Okay. Hair's done.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this another streak of the black. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Any last comments from peoples and stuff?
No.
No, because everybody stopped watching. I'm telling you.
Everyone should go buy Chunky.
Yeah. Well, like I said, people will come back and watch this again. So you can find everything Yehudi on his Instagram and on his website, which is supermercado.pizza. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Here we go. Let's go back to show them that cover again. It's good stuff.
Yeah. This is Chunky.
Yeah.
Good old Chunky.
Good old stuff. And Yehudi's got a bunch of books out. Rocket Salvage. You got Shazam book coming out. You got Chunky, Saifu,
Fun World,
Hero Hotel, podcast stuff,
and book.
And book. Look at this.
Look at that Fun World.
Prolific, Mr. Prolific guy.
It's a compulsion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff, man.
Just to answer your question, Hawkeye and Miss Marvel come out late 2021. No dates yet.
Late.
Oh, Miss Marvel is this?
Yeah, it's part of this this year's. They're both in post-production.
There you go.
So now, Miss Marvel, do you think what Wanda does with the Hex and her energy is what is the catalyst for like creating like Miss Marvel?
Oh, I don't know.
Because don't they make some mention of like the energy she's like producing, right? Like when,
because something's happening at the end when they go in and she's there.
Rambo got powers basically by going through the Hex wall. Yeah. So I wonder if then that'll tie in, because Miss Marvel's in New Jersey, and then all of WandaVision was like upstate New York, right?
I think so, yeah. Or wasn't that in New Jersey as well?
Oh, it was New Jersey also.
Yeah,
it's all right. Area.
Yep.
Yeah, so then maybe hopefully then that ties up to, like, instead of it being like the gas, whatever the gas was in the Miss Marvel comics, that changes her.
Yeah, then somebody farted and they got powers.
Exactly.
So
the mutagen got not mutagen. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, it was for the oh my god,
I am curious to see how they're going to do stretching powers in live action, because I'm very skeptical that that's going to look good. I
You
have
didn't
not
like
seen
the
that.
Fantastic Four movie with Jessica Biel? You didn't like that?
I did
No?
not. No. That's another one. Like, I want to see a nicely fully animated Fantastic Four, like I do with like X-Men.
Well, they did that already, and it was called The Incredibles.
The Incredibles.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm curious to see how stretching affect how it looks. I'm not quite sure it's gonna look good.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But we are going to leave that for another time.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming and hanging out and drawing with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Go check out all things YEHUDI at supermercadocomics.pizza and on his Instagrams.
Supermercado.pizza.
Oh, super! I want to throw in the .com because you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So it's supermercado.pizza and Supermercado Comics on Instagram and his social medias, and follow him and watch all that stuff. Any last comments?
Instagram.
Yes. Two. Andrew Clark says Master of the Universe starts up later this month.
Oh, we're gonna talk about
Master
that.
of the Universe Revelations, and art goes Yagisms.
Oh, you're a good man, sirs. Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
But I want to thank you again for coming, sir. I appreciate it. Definitely go pick up Chunky. It's got great reviews. It's it's gonna be written up in the New York Times. I think you said it's online already on the New York Times.
Yeah, it's online already.
Review.
Yeah,
it's online already. But pick up a paper. Go read the thing. You know what? Better yet, read the review online. Then go pick up the book in person.
Exactly.
That's what you should be doing.
And if you happen to be at the bookstore and the newspapers there, pick up both.
And also breaking news here, YEHUDI and I are going to be doing phase 4.5 of the Marvel Universe
you
now.
Heard it here first.
So we're going to be
Kevin Feige's sick of our complaining.
I'll assume the Jim Shooter role as editor-in-chief.
There you go. Thank you again, YEHUDI, for coming, and I appreciate it. And I'll see everybody not next week, so we won't be here next week because I will be on vacation, and my wife will not let me do a streaming show from vacation. So come back the following week.
Or have you told people where you're going, or is that
nobody needs to know where I'm going?
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
No, I don't need anybody to find me.
He's going to Ohio to pay respects to a certain character that passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Gotcha.
We'll see. But when we come back in a couple of weeks, we should have, if schedule holds true, we should have Scoot back on, which will make YEHUDI jealous.
What? I thought I ended his reign, didn't I? I thought
we'll have Scoot back on
off the hill.
Yeah, we'll have to have him back on to talk about the end of Loki. So there's that. So cool.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Thank you again, sir. Appreciate it. And
thank you.
Everybody out there, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.